Hi loves, it's Lacey and welcome to our space. Today I'm super excited because we finally got our hands on a 12-foot skeleton from Home Depot, and I am going to be decorating him so he glows in the dark. At least his t-shirt will be glowing in the dark, and I'm going to make some other things like signs. And I want to thank Cricut so much for sponsoring this video. I am going to be utilizing my Cricut Maker 3 for this project. And I'm also going to be using Cricut's vinyl and iron-on in glow in the dark. Now, I have used glow in the dark products before for Halloween projects, and I want to see how Cricut's glow in the dark products worked compared to those. So the first thing I did here is I opened up Cricut Design Space and I opened a text box and I wrote the word very, as you can see, in all caps. Then I moved that over to the side because I want to do another text box that's going to say very, very old Mr. Jenkins. Now, Mr. Jenkins is just a made-up name. My husband and I just watched a movie with that name in it, so that's what we're using. We're not using our last name. And after I get this box all filled out, I'm going to move that underneath the other very. It just worked out better for me this way, how I want to make this t-shirt for my skeleton. Then I'm going to put a box around the entire thing so it's all hooked together, and I'm not going to attach it, but I'm going to go up to the top where it says offset, and I'm going to use the default and just offset these words, and then I'm going to change the offset to this nice green color. This color is going to dictate glow in the dark for the rest of our projects. Then I put a box around the entire thing because I want to size it all together so the offset and the words are still perfectly together. Now I stretch it at the corner to make it bigger, but you can go in the top of your toolbar and change the dimensions as well, which is what I'm going to do here next, because even making it larger didn't make it wide enough to go across the skeleton. So I'm going to go to the top of the toolbar, unlock the lock, and then drag the side to what I think it is. You can also type in your dimensions at the top. Once I'm happy with it, then I'm going to save this project. I already have a folder called Halloween that I'm going to put it in. So then if you guys want to make this a Mr. Jenkins t-shirt for a skeleton, you can, but it's also so I can use this to print this off. So once you're satisfied with your project, then you can hit make it. And on this project, we are going to be doing it on a mat. So I clicked on a mat and I'm making sure it's my 12 by 24 inch mat. Now also remember that you need to mirror any iron-on. So I'm clicking the button for that to mirror it so that when it prints out so you can put it down on your t-shirt correctly. So first of all, it's going to have us print off the black, and I'm going to be using smart material for this because I have the Maker 3. I'm going to search all materials, browse all materials, and put on there iron-on, and then pick permanent, I do believe it is iron-on because I'm doing it in black. I put my tray to hold my smart materials on, and the machine is now going to measure how much material I have to make sure I have enough. Once I click the load button, and then it will blink for me to click the play button right there and then get the information and start cutting out our design. So I'm not going to let you guys watch this in regular time. I sped it up so this video won't be super long, but it prints it out so fast, even faster than a regular machine. That's why I love this Cricut Maker 3. But you could also print off materials on any of the other Cricut machines. Now I have the glow-in-the-dark iron-on, and as you can see, it has a shiny side and a matte side, and the shiny side needs to go down. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other machine. Press the load button and it's going to measure my materials, and then I'm going to press the play button for it to start cutting. And it's just that simple. Cricut makes it really simple. It shows on your computer, your cell phone if it's compatible, or your tablet what you're supposed to do during each one of these steps. I didn't show you in this, but I will show you in this video because the video is so long. So I'm just showing you what I'm doing on this right now. So then I decided I have 2 more skeletons and they're going to be part of the scene. So I want to make them t-shirts as well. So I went into images, typed in Halloween, and then over on the side you can see there's a drop down list and I clicked free. So these are all the free images to you on there. I clicked on several of them and I decided that I'm going to add them to my canvas. I'm going to change them all to green. First individually after I size them and put them where I want. Now I actually end up making 2 of the ghosts, 1 of the skeletons, none of the spider, and then I did make the spider web and the pumpkin. After I got done with that, I went back and I typed at the top the Boo Crew. I had seen someone do a shirt like this, and so I knew there was some there, and luckily there was one for free also. And so I put that on my canvas, also changed the color of it, and then I hit duplicate and I duplicated it because it needs 1 for each of my skeletons. So once I was happy with that, I saved it under Halloween again, and I know I have to put it on my longer mat to do it all at once and mirror my image, as you can see. Then I am going to hit make it, and it's going to come up on the mat. It's mirrored already because I mirrored it before, and it's going to tell me to select my materials, which is going to be glow in the dark for iron on. Now here's where the machine prompts you and it tells you to press the load button to start with. Then you will press your play button after that. And when you do, this is what your computer or your phone or your tablet does. Or your Mac does. It will show you your progress while the machine is cutting. Like I said, I was going to show you that. I just showed you that in this second step and showed you what the machine did in the first step. So then after that, Cricut has a heat guide that is accessible to everyone in Design Space, where you can go on and see what you need to iron this on with. You can use an iron, but I am using my Easy Press 2. I put in my material that I am using and what I'm using it on, and it tells you right there that 305 for 30 seconds for the material and how to prep it and what to do for your application. So we are going to jump right into that here next. And if you need help, at the bottom of that, it gives you information that there's tutorials on Cricut. So first thing I did was turn on my Easy Press, and then I pressed the temperature gauge because I use mine a lot, and so a lot of times it's already set, but for this, I needed the temperature to be 330 for this exact shirt, even though the one said 305 because I already did one at 305 because it was polyester. But my shirt now that I'm going to use happens to be cotton. So this is my mat that goes with my Easy Press. I have something on mine, but it still works perfectly fine. I have it sitting on a t-shirt, and on a towel, and I am going to be doing this a t-shirt. I start by weeding all of my glow in the dark iron on, which is so simple to weed. I did speed this up a little, so be careful when you weed your material so you just don't tear it by accident. But I got it all weeded, and the first step is to warm up your t-shirt, then put down your decal or your project and make sure that the project side is down and the shiny part is up, and then cover it with some protective paper. You can use parchment paper, or they sell paper for using this machine, and put your machine down straight up and down. Hold it down with firm pressure and press the button until the time is up. Then you need to turn it over on the back and hold it down for 15 seconds and then let it completely cool. So then I had this little ghost that came out of the inside of this, and I had that material that the entire decal came off of, so I cut a little piece and put it over the ghost, and I am going to go ahead and do the same thing and hold this down with firm pressure for 30 seconds and then flip it over and do it again. I also did the same thing with the skeletons t-shirt. This is 330 for 30 seconds, and you will have to do it in several different areas like this, and then move the paper over and do the rest. There's no need for you to just watch me do that, but let it cool completely and pull this layer off. Once it's all cooled, then I'm going to keep that material that I just pulled off so I can use that at a later date. And then I'm going to take the black iron-on and layer it right on top. I stand up to do this to make sure I get it exactly where I want it, and then I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to cover up my material with my parchment paper or protective paper you can buy directly for this, and do the same thing using firm pressure. Then all the little extra images that I found in the images section that were free Halloween images, I made 2 of the ghosts, and then I did 1 of the skeleton head, the skull, and 1 of the jack-o'-lantern, and I thought, let's add these to Mr. Jenkins' shirt, and I did the same process of ironing them on and flipping it over, and I waited for everything to cool before I removed the protective coating. So I think these turned out really, really cute, and I think they would be perfect for a Halloween party, for if you were going to that, or to make for children out trick-or-treating, because wait until you see how well they glow in the dark. I put them on my skeleton, which was a feat in itself. It rained a ton here, so we had to wait to even get it on them. And the skeleton shirt just barely fit, so a 5X might be better. But look at how well these glow in pitch black darkness. I have a few other little lights on outside because these are my Halloween lights, but oh my goodness, this is a skeleton. You can't even see his body. Look how well that glows in the dark. So now next, let's move on to making a few signs for my front yard and front porch area. I typed out it's spooky season, and then I went up in fonts, and I had already typed in Halloween, and I looked at all of the Halloween fonts they have there. And I picked this one. I thought it was really nice and simple, and I'm just resizing it like I resized my iron-on so I can type out it's spooky season. And then I said, hey, I really liked the images from before, so I went back into images and went back to free and grabbed some more of those free images. I ended up grabbing a skull because we have a skeleton. I, of course, am going to change all of them to the glow-in-the-dark color. Another ghost, another jack-o'-lantern, and this time I grabbed a spider web and a spider, I do believe, and I also grabbed some of these little eyes that are looking at you. I end up using those on another sign, and you will see that in a second. And then I do believe I did the spider along with the web, and I'm going to take and put the spider on the web like I think I want it to go, and I'm going to offset the spider and change that color to white so it would show up on the web. And I wasn't really thinking, I offset it twice. I probably should have kept that second offset or left my offset to black and then changed my spider to glow in the dark. And I probably will do something with that sign to put some glow in the dark because I have a little material left on there. Then I save it into Halloween again, and I will have this one saved for you guys as well. And then I decided, hey, I'm already in here making signs, so let's make another sign that says keep on the grass, because Mr. Jenkins looks cranky in our little scene, and it's supposed to be a joke that he wants the kids to stop playing in his grass. So I do the same thing. I offset it. I put it together, make sure the offset is the color of our glow in the dark, and the other color will be black, and I size it to fit what I think the sign size should be. I have a lot of material here at home, so I'm just going to cut the material to fit the size that I do on here. It is totally customizable, and I will show you that here. I have this sign that I'm going to make. I grab in shapes a triangle, and it has rounded corners, and then I change the size of the triangle at the top until I get it to about, I think, 8 by 10. I'm not exactly sure, but these sizes will be inside of the project in Design Space for you guys. I turn it to white because I'm just using it as the background for my sign, and I go into text under Halloween and I pick a different font. I really like this font where it looks a little more spooky, and I'm going to write the word beware. This is going to be my glow in the dark. I resize it and put it on my sign, and then I'm going to change the color of it, obviously. But I also do the word of, and I change the color of both of these to the green once I get them where I want them on my sign. Along with, I do a square here, and I'm going to write, well, just beware, and put that on top of the square that we have. But I'm going to change the color of that to white because the dark color, as you'll see in a second, I'm sorry, I hope I'm explaining this well enough for you guys. The dark color is actually going to be our glow in the dark. I do beware here. I resize it to fit the sign, and I actually want this one to be a little taller so it looks a little more like please beware, and I put that on the bottom of my sign. It just takes me a second to resize it for you guys by unlocking the top. Also, before I even change the colors, I wanted to mention too that underneath images, Cricut has a lot of Halloween images too. So you could always go in there and get your letters and spell out something that way too. So I change all of the dark gray to my glow in the dark color. And then I realized I could just paint my sign. I don't have to cut out the black vinyl. So I'm making sure I save this the way it is in case somebody wants to cut out the black vinyl in Halloween. I'll have that in Cricut's design space for you guys too. But I can just paint my sign, I thought. It doesn't work out well for me though. But this is what it will look like in Cricut design space for you guys where you can grab it. So I put it back on my canvas after I saved it there, and I am going to click on just the black rectangle and hide it in this. This is how you customize. Then I am going to take and put a box around the bottom square in the entire part that says, well, just beware here for you guys in a second. And then at the bottom, I'm going to hit attach. Then it's going to give me a drop-down list under combine, and I'm going to exclude part of it. And that's going to give me the part that I want to print off in my glow in the dark. So now I'm showing you that I'm cutting that out on my mat again. And I had a large enough piece left over from some of the other pieces that I cut out that I could go ahead and just use that. Now, here I have Cricut's a new transfer tape. I love this stuff. When I first got it, I was a little kind of not sure about it, but I love it so much. I love the fact that it doesn't have a backing on it, so you can see right through it and you can see the exact amount that you need. I also love the fact that whenever I use it, I bend over the edge like this, and it's really easy to work with. I also bend the extra edge over once I cut it off, and so I have something to hold on to so it doesn't stick to my fingers. We do waste a little tiny bit, but I swear I wasted more using it before. Now I tried to always bend it in the middle, but this long piece was giving me a little bit of trouble. And I get it down and then cover up my entire design. But as long as you don't press it really hard, it'll still come up for you. I thought it was going to be too sticky to do that. Then I use my scraper to adhere it to the transfer tape. And if you see coming out the edge, I used a little excess of that I had left over for other projects to help hold my design in place. Those little pieces that are stuck down. Now I took some corrugated plastic board and painted it black with some exterior paint, and I'm going to put the sign down on it. So you will also see that this is forgiving transfer tape too, and so is the vinyl. Like, I struggled with getting this in the middle for a few seconds here, but it actually, if you don't press it hard, you can reposition it. Then I use my scraper to get it on there nice and secure, and this is where it all went bad. And also you can see that I have beware sitting up on my desk that came out of the bottom that I'm going to use for another project. That was a bonus thing. But not only did this not want to release right away. It pulled up my paint. Yeah, that's the paint coming up off of that, not the vinyl. The vinyl stayed down, but the paint came up. And I sped this up because it took a long time for me to try to fight with it to keep all of my paint down. And I thought I had it there for a minute, but as soon as I got off of that large square, oh, it just pulled all of my paint. So unfortunately, that took a long time. I ended up taking it off and it pretty much ripped Beware off. So here I am showing you what I did to it. I figured this is a Halloween sign. It can look awful. It can look scary. I grabbed some Mod Podge and I glued down all those rough edges. And then I put a layer of Mod Podge and put my Beware on it. My Beware was stuck to the paint. I think it looks great. And here it is at night in pitch black. It worked. And here's a picture of it with my flash off. It worked so well. And you won't be able to tell at night. So I think it looked great. And let's not forget the Keep on the Lawn sign. It's a joke and I loved it. And here it is with a picture with my flash off and it looks just as well. Then finally, we have to put together the spooky season sign. It's spooky season. I already put most of it on, so I'm just showing you here where I did layer that spider on top of the glow-in-the-dark and the white vinyl. I do think now that I should have made the spider glow-in-the-dark because you can't see it. It kind of blends in with the black background of this sign. I use this sign all the time, the board, the very long board that I have here, to go on top of my porch with removable vinyl. So the next time I would do that with glow-in-the-dark vinyl. But it looks great in the daytime and you can see the spider if you come up to our porch. But at night, it looks a little bit like it blends in. So here it is in the day, along with those hands that you see. Those are supposed to glow in the dark, and they're from a Dollar Tree. I bought a lot of Dollar Tree glow in the dark stuff. And let me just tell you, when you see this glowing in the dark at night, look at that. You can see all of my images and it's spooky season. I do have other lights going. Sorry for that. But those hands do not glow in the dark as well as the Cricut vinyl. Nothing that I have glows as well. Like this project, I got this at a craft show and it has glow in the dark vinyl on it. Can you see it? It says Happy Halloween. But after filming the other side of my yard and porch, this is what my Beware sign looks like. This is what the Boo t-shirts look like. And the glow in the dark Mr. Jenkins t-shirt, all are still very vibrant, very bright, but not the other things that I have that glow in the dark. I am very, very happy with what this looks like. Also, remember that Beware that I took out of my sign? I put it on this pumpkin and hand cut out just some triangles, and look at how vibrant this is. I have to say, this is the best stuff ever. Here is a picture of the front of my house with this all set up, and you can see the t-shirts and the signs are still glowing. That's with my flash on. This is with my flash off. How vibrant is their glow in the dark stuff? I love it. And all the other things you cannot even see. The signs are held up by skeleton heads and they are painted with glow in the dark paint. And you can barely see anything glowing on the dark with that. So that's it for this video. I want to thank Cricut so much for sponsoring it. I will have all of their links in the description down below in case you want to get your hands on some of this product. And I will catch all of you in my next video. Bye, loves.